Hey everyone, I'm Ian Douglas, the author of the website techinterview.guide. I do live streams every Sunday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern about topics relevant to interview preparation for the tech industry. I occasionally record longer Q&A sessions, and I've started to break those into smaller videos to post. And there'll be information at the end of this video about how to get in contact with me if you have additional questions. Let's get to it. This one was kind of interesting. This question was given to me by a data scientist, and they were being invited to an interview, but it was very short notice. And they said, I've got less than 48 hours to put together a 12 to 15 minute slide deck presentation, wearing, formal wear like business attire on a technical topic, followed by, a period of Q&A for an interview. And they basically wrote and said, I've never had to do this for any other kind of job role. Like, what's up with that? Every company is a little bit different. Their expectations are going to be a little bit different. If they give you that topic and say, we want you to give us a little presentation about such and such, it's a little bit similar to like a take-home challenge. They've given you some amount of time to research a topic, put together a little slide deck thing and just give a little, 15-minute talk. It's actually not that hard to fill up a 15-minute talk on any kind of topic. Having to do that in 48 hours can be a little bit tricky, especially if it's a topic you don't know. But if it's a topic that you should know a lot about, like, if this is a data science kind of job and they want you to present on, pros and cons of using Apache Spark or Cassandra or, some other kind of big data tool, then that should be part of your background already. And so giving a talk on it's really not like, it's easy to say it shouldn't be that hard, but that's not always going to be the case. And not everybody likes giving presentations, and public speaking is really tricky. But if that's part of the role, then that's something that you need to get used to. If it's a more senior level role, I would say it's probably something that you want to take very seriously. Because as a senior level dev, you're going to be teaching things to other people around you. The entry level devs, the intermediate level devs, you're there as a senior level dev to kind of raise them up to where you are and teach them what you know. And so this might be like, hey, if we were to put you in charge of this, can you communicate that well to other people on the team? So it is a little bit unusual to have to give a presentation like that. Now, one company that I worked at, they actually told all applicants, hey, when you come in for, your several hours of on-site interviews, we want to start by having you give like, a couple of minute presentation on just who you are, what's your background, where do you see yourself, what do you want to do in your career, and do that as a presentation in front of everybody who's going to be interviewing you that day. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but at the same time, if you think about it, the first several minutes of every conversation that you're about to have with all of those people that you're interviewing with for the rest of the day is always going to start out with like, hey, tell me a little bit about your background. And it's going to feel very repetitive for you to say this stuff over and over and over again. And so it was actually kind of a clever sort of move on the company's part to say like, hey, you know what, let's just put everybody together in one room. We'll have that person just start with, this is me, this is who I am. And then we'll like, everyone else will leave the room. They'll be in there with HR just to kind of give them like, okay, well, here's who you're meeting with and what time and blah, blah, blah. And just kind of, can we get you any water? Let me show you around, show you where the bathroom is, et cetera. And then we would actually start the interview process from there. And it was really interesting to see the different kinds of things that people would bring to these presentations. Some would talk about their background, some would talk about their families. Some of them would give more information than I think they should have. But that's really on them, because we would always tell them like, hey, you're going to be part of a very small team. The company was only like 30, 40 people at the time. And, the idea was like, you're going to be working with a lot of people. We're going to want to know all about you. So win us over, tell us who you are. Tell us about like what drives you, what you're passionate about, and things like that. And so it was actually a pretty interesting sort of mechanism to alleviate the repetition, but it is a little bit daunting, I think, for people who aren't used to public speaking or don't like speaking in front of any size of group of people. But in an interview scenario, I would expect to talk to at least 1 to 2, 3, maybe 4 people at a time in like panel type interviews. And so speaking in front of like 10 or 15 people, it's like, okay, well, it's just like a really big panel. We can kind of like do a little bit of Q&A, like, oh, tell me a little bit more about like that guitar lesson thing that you were talking about, or, whatever about their background that they think was important for us to know as a company. And then that way we all got kind of that same introduction, and we could kind of take it from there. But to go back and answer the question, like, hey, I wasn't given a lot of notice. You could always ask for more time. I mentioned that in another stream. I think you can get that in the I think it's the application playlist, or maybe the general playlist. But there's another one on there of like, how do I ask for more time to prepare? You can always ask for more time. Just say like, hey, you know what, 48 hours isn't very much time to like put together a whole technical presentation to try to like teach a topic or present on a topic. Whether or not it's informal wear, per the question, I would say that's fine. Like, you're going to be wearing kind of business casual or business attire to the interview anyway, hopefully. I recommend that you do. So, having that followed by 60 minutes of Q&A, that just sounds like a typical sort of interview where, oh, I see on your resume that you know the following topics, so I'm just going to like hit you with a whole bunch of technical questions about that topic. So having, an hour of Q&A, I don't think is unreasonable either. It's unusual, but I don't think it's unreasonable. Hey, thanks for watching. I love helping people out with interview prep, and I hope this video helped you in some way. If you found this Q&A useful, please consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitch as well for the live stream twice a week. Check out techinterview.guide/streaming for more information. I also have a daily email series that you can subscribe to on the website. There are never any ads, and when you finish the series, I scrub your information out of my database permanently. Finally, if you have a question that you'd like answered on the stream, you can find my contact info on techinterview.guide. I prefer LinkedIn or email. If you leave your question in a YouTube comment, it might take me longer to find it, but I'll see you next time.